10 years ago today, Hurricane Katrina became a named storm in the Caribbean. The fifth hurricane of the 2005 season, Katrina made landfall in the Bahamas, Cuba, and then South Florida. From there, it went back into the Gulf and intensified into a monster Category 5 storm. And Katrina eventually slammed into Mississippi and Louisiana as a Cat 3.
Yeah, the damage came in estimated at $108 billion. Even worse than that, though. Katrina claimed close to 1,800 lives.
And of course, a lot of folks remember the devastation in New Orleans, but it was also horrible in Biloxi, Mississippi. And that's where ABC Action News was, where I was, witnessing just a huge amount of suffering, but also some great hope.
In the midst of the casinos between the Gulf and the Back Bay of Biloxi lies a neighborhood in ruins. Houses floated from their foundation by a 15-foot storm surge that has now finally receded, leaving devastating destruction, death, and dejection.
Our house is nothing. It's just like no house was never there.
Her name is, ironically enough, Katrina.
All this is storm surge.
Yeah, when I was sitting up there watching it, the water was rising, and the water got up to probably about this high off the ground, and it's all debris and rooftops floating, and you would see the waves come in. All the debris would start going up like this when the waves would start coming.
Yes, he rode out the storm in this 140-year-old wood frame home until things got too scary. As he picked through the place for a handful of cherished tchotchkes and a picture of his daughter, he took me to the attic level where he hid out, right next door to his tossed-over boat when the storm was at its worst.
Yeah, I was up there in the attic, I guess probably about 4 or 5 hours for the bulk of the storm. And then when things started to calm down a little bit, then I made my way back out. And it gets a little harrowing after a while, wondering what's going to go.
I would think so.
The situation in Harrison County is hardly hospitable, but those who've traveled here from Florida know they're not here on vacation.
Because, you know, once you factor in the heat and the smells and just the aggravation you see on people's faces, it's amazing.
Amazing that in the face of such strife, there are victims giving thanks.
Pray to the Lord. Thank God that what we do have, we still have. Maybe it's just our lives, but it's a lot.
Authorities hope that the dire dilemma in New Orleans doesn't overshadow the situation here, because while this help has begun, the need, like this line, has no end in sight.
I tell you what, those are actual clips that actually aired during our coverage. So just looking back on that, it kind of brings it all back into my memory. A lot of folks just forget about the devastation along the Mississippi coast because everybody remembers New Orleans. And all those images from there. But that'll stick with you forever. And just one storm that had decreased in strength coming on shore brought so much devastation.
Yeah, Cat 3.
Hard to believe that was 10 years ago.
Crazy.
Can you imagine what it would have been like if it was a Cat 5?
It's still, no, I can't. I can't, because literally there were houses like we have along Bayshore that were along the roads there that were completely washed off their foundations and then pushed back into that Back Bay area, just gone.
Wow.
It would be roughly akin to the houses on Bayshore being pushed back to Dale Mabry Highway.
And we here are on borrowed time because we haven't been hit since 1921. Wow. Knocking for Micah.
Knock wood, yeah.
Fingers crossed. Speaking of Bayshore, look at this shot.
I know. Delisa's out there getting us some beautiful pictures this morning. What a great day to get up and get out and get active. Maybe get your run in, get some cardio, and then enjoy a day at the beach.